get Tana back, and we'll go to Luke after that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously super familiar with Tanny. Pumped to have him back. I mean, you saw tonight. What he does out there. He buzzes around, plays physical. He's great on the kill, big block shots, battles on the wall. I mean, stuff that you need all year round, but especially down the stretch and into the playoffs. So, we know what he's all about, the heart and soul that he plays with, and just excited to have him back. Lots of smiles and laughs when he came in the locker room today. So, and then with Schenner, pumped to have him. I've had the chance to get to know him and his brother a little bit through the years, and if you ask anyone in the hockey world, they're both some of the best guys that you can meet. He's a guy that. Try to get to the net on him. It's not very fun. We were talking about it in the meal room today after. He's a big body, obviously physical presence. See how many hits he has, block shots, what he'll do for the team, and just the type of guy he is, and the way he's evolved his game as well. I think it's pretty incredible. I know him pretty well, and I know how hard he works in the off season to continue to grow his game, and that's where you see the evolution throughout his career, where a number of years ago he was uncertain about the path forward, and he's fought back and turned it into an amazing second half of his career. So awesome to have him, both character guys, and can't wait to have him join us.
And the Stanley Cup pedigree too. That's a very important aspect of his
100%. Leadership, obviously over 1,000 games. He's been there, he's won a cup, bringing that into our locker room. It's just it's so valuable. You learn so many lessons in championship situations, and so just the things that both of those guys bring into the locker room. They almost can't be measured, I guess, as easily as goals and assists, but I think are vitally important for our group. And we're a team that plays. We rely on our structure and our commitment to defense and our commitment to our depth, and so it just makes us that much stronger throughout our lineup.
What are you seeing on your goal there? Taking that 2-0 lead in the first.
Yeah, power play's been a strength for us all year, and lately we've last couple games got back to feeling it out there. And we had some movement, and don't find myself in this a lot too often, but came right out on my stick, and I just had to not miss the net. So it was nice to get that second goal, and then the huge third goal at the end of the second period from Ehlers. That gave us some more room.
Appreciate it, Josh. Thanks.
Adam, what's the scouting report on the new left winger that you have?
His game hasn't changed a whole lot. I think kind of reacquiring Tanny, and from the years I've played with him, he brings a lot of energy. Great forechecker, great PKer. Just another element of speed to our lineup, and I thought we saw it tonight. He was disruptive on the forecheck. Their line gets going with a big first goal, and some great jobs on the kills, some nice hits, and some good blocks. And I think that's what we can expect from him. He's not the biggest guy, but he brings it every night, and he's a great teammate to have.
Is it easy to rally around a guy like that when he's always in the middle of things and kind of annoying people like he does?
Well, it's more preferable to have him on your team. I think he doesn't seem to have an off switch. He's always kind of in high gear, high strung, and ready to go. It doesn't matter the score. It doesn't matter if you played a lot of games in a short amount of time. And sometimes it's a guy like that where your team comes out a little flat, and you throw him on the ice, and he can get the crowd back in just with his energy, just with his speed, the disruption he can create, and kind of the chances he can create with that speed. So super happy to be getting him back, and then obviously with the deal for Luke, we're looking forward to bringing in a Stanley Cup champion, a guy that makes a nightmare to go to the front of the net and into the corners, and blocking shots. And I think he's an underrated puck mover coming out of his own end, and a lot of veteran leadership from his part. So it was nice to have Tanny tonight, and obviously when we add Luke, not sure when, but we're really looking forward to that as well.
Games can often come down to mistakes. What made your team so good tonight at not only forcing mistakes but capitalizing on them?
Well, I think early on we made some mistakes, and obviously, Helly made some big saves, and we had some big blocks. But I think after the big kill, we were able to kind of find our legs and start generating things, kind of going in the right direction. I think Arnie preaches on back-to-backs, kind of simple straight line plays, kind of keep the puck moving north, and we saw that on the first goal. I think obviously our power plays clicking at an incredible rate this year, and they've been red hot, and to get us that second goal was big. But another kind of relentless play by Vladdy on the third goal just to set up the face-off. They've been out there for a while. He goes to the net and make sure we get a face-off, an offensive zone face-off. So you feel like you kind of get the momentum off that kill, and then you throw the big boys out there and they execute a great face-off play. Smokey takes a hit to make a play, and Fly makes a great shot. And coming into the intermission, kind of with that execution, with that 3-goal lead, you're feeling pretty good about your chances. Obviously, you don't love the first 5-6 minutes of the third, but I think we were able to kind of weather their push and fortunately get a couple bounces and put that game out of reach.
Adam, given how cohesive your group has been this season, how did the fact that you didn't lose anybody from your team at deadline resonate in the room?
Yeah, I think at deadline day it's always an exciting time. I know there's a buzz in the world, but I think it's a tough day for players too. I think there's guys that are anxious, waiting to see are they going to be moved, or are they going to be slotted down in the lineup? What's going to happen with their ice time? I think it's one of those things where it's a stressful day for people that aren't even moved, right? And then there's people that upend their lives, and got to move their families across the country, and all for kind of the pursuit of the Stanley Cup. So, but being able to maintain this group and add the two pieces that we did, both high character guys, I think they're going to fit in really well with our group. They're going to be good additions, and I think when I look at the makeup of other teams and what they added, you kind of see that it's an arms race. But the way I look at how our team's made up, the way we play, structurally, the way we can defend, we like our chances against any team. We know it's going to be a dogfight. If you want to win the Stanley Cup, you got to beat 4 very good teams. So, adding those guys, being able to maintain the cohesiveness, the chemistry, kind of, the expectations of what's expected, not trying to introduce a bunch of guys to new systems, kind of will allow us just to keep rolling.
Adam, I did want to ask about that sort of idea, like, no secret, big names, switch teams, all that sort of stuff. And I'm wondering what the satisfaction is like from a group like you guys to win 6-1 on a night after everybody's talking about these big ads in the Central Division. You're like, well, we're a pretty good team.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think, I think, obviously last night we really liked how we played, and then, kind of after the game, there's the rumors and the Brock Nelson deal hits, and anytime a big name player is going, you hope he stays in the Eastern Conference or he doesn't go in the division. Obviously, he goes to divisional rival, a great team in Colorado, and then you hear the rumors about Rantanen going to Dallas, and obviously it didn't get done until today. But I think what's been so great about our group this year is, regardless of the circumstances surrounding us, whether it's back-to-back or kind of the outside stuff, we just go out there, put our heads down, put in the work, and the results seem to follow more often than not. I think it's real gratifying coming in a back-to-back, and New Jersey's a great team. I know they're missing some real key pieces, but sometimes back-to-backs you don't have the legs. But I think the guys battled hard. We know it's going to be a dogfight with those teams and who they've added, and you just want to continue climbing the standings, keep kind of marching your way to the playoffs. And I thought we did a real good job of maintaining that focus kind of during a hectic day today and getting a good result.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And how different did that feel for you, Brandon?
Very familiar. I mean, it's a very good team, and it's a easy team to come into when there's so many good players, and they make things easy for you. Obviously, it's a tough day in terms of getting here, getting acclimated, but I mean, when you go out there, you put a familiar jersey on that you're so used to. You're excited to play, and like I said earlier, I've had a big smile on my face all day.
You heard about the Jets' interest earlier in the week, or how did things come together for you?
I mean, it was one of those things where you're waiting, and it comes as it is. I mean, I kind of knew I was getting traded, I didn't know what was happening, and I was happy to hear that Winnipeg had interest, and I'm glad we could get things worked out.
Who gave you the call, or when did you?
I just spoke to my agent. He let me know everything was going, and then spoke to my GM in Seattle, Ron. But then I was able to speak to Chevy and Larry and the guys they were in Philly at the same hotel. So it was nice to say hi to them, and everything worked out very well.
Yeah, what's it like to come back to the place the journey started?
Yeah, it's. I'm very happy. Like I said, I've been smiling all day. It's a group I know very well, a city I know well, and they've had great success this year, so I'm just trying to come in and do whatever I can. The team's playing some great hockey, so whatever the role I need to play or do is what I'm willing to do.
How different is this now than the first time around?
I mean, it's a little different. Obviously, I'm a little older, so it's a little bit of a different team, but it's a lot of the same guys. I know the trainers, the ownership group's the same, management, so it's one of those things where it's a little different, but at the same time, it's very similar.
Thank you. There was a play pretty early in the game, just as you walked by and mentioned it, where Dylan DeMello sort of saves the goal. You guys score one the other way. Perfectly good calls all sides, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it happens where sort of momentum goes the other way, and that was a crazy scramble. And when it was nice to see, especially our fourth line, go down the other end, and the score of that one was big.
Brandon Tanev's impact in his first game, what did you see?
Yeah, you can tell he's an experienced guy in his speed. I knew he had some quickness to him, but you really notice that when he's on your side, he closes quick, and he's smart and recognizes situations when we do. For a guy that we overloaded before the game with video on how we like to play, he grasped it pretty quick, and I really liked that line. He did a good job.
What made your team so good at forcing mistakes from your opposition tonight and capitalizing on them?
Well, the big thing I think I mentioned this morning was that these guys are good through the neutral zone at clogging the ice. They're one of the best teams on transition off turnovers. We did a really good job of just not doing that. We got through the neutral zone. We got pucks down in their end, and then from there we just pressured. We had pressure on the forecheck, and I thought we did a real good job eliminating any kind of rush chances they were looking for. And the four lines rolled, and it was good.
You're proud of the back-to-back win yesterday.
Yeah, no, obviously we had just seen Philly. Hadn't seen these guys all year long, and we know that they're a good team, especially in this building. And it was a situation, them coming off a long road trip, and we wanted to make sure that we were simple, being back-to-back, smart about how we approached it. And like I said, that first period was real good, real solid group.
Scott, considering you got played and executed it well on back-to-back, the night before the trade deadline and then afterwards, I think that it probably confirms in your mind just how focused they are. That's any.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we've mentioned before, if it's a bad game or a great game, it's about putting it in perspective, move on to the next one. And there's a lot going on this week, and we had talked about focusing on what you can focus on, and I think that's one area where our group is really mature. Is that we sort of task at hand, we dig in on that task at hand, and nothing else. We don't worry about things that are outside, that are out of our control, and we just, like you mentioned, those were two big games for us.
Is there an element of pride in a 6-1 convincing win on a night where part of the day we've been asking you about Nelson and other sorts of things, but here you are dominating a very good team?
Yeah, I mean, that's our group, though. They, we've been good all year long, and we've won with different people throughout our lineup, and everybody in the organization. We weren't sure how it was gonna unfold, and I think the players just recognize that there's a job to do. Whether it was last night in Philly, or it was today, that we know what our team is going to be from here to here through the playoffs, and it's just making sure that we come out and play with that same kind of identity that we've been playing with all year. Thanks. Thank you.